The Miss Universe organization has been sold once again, and believe me, I wish we were not having this conversation, but unfortunately, it is the reality. For the past few days, there has been a lot of speculation about new changes coming to Miss Universe, and it all turned out to be true. Now, initially, people were speculating about perhaps the organization being sold to a completely new owner, people talking about new restructure when it comes to the management at Miss Universe. Of course, these changes are not to be neglected, and I think that they could have a huge impact in the future of the organization, their mission, their projects, and what we can expect as pageant fans as well in upcoming years. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So as you guys can see, officially being reported here by ABS-CBN, Miss Universe organization announces a growth partnership with Legacy Holdings. And I'm sure that you guys will recognize this guy right here. His name is Raul Rocha, and he is one of the Mexican entrepreneurs that has been involved with JKN for the past few months. We have seen him already in many, many events for Miss Universe. So I think that it's safe to assume that this new partnership is not something that just came up, last minute. This has been ongoing, and the rumors are that this particular purchase, this acquisition, Legacy Holdings, has been completed since the month of October. Meaning that even before we had the previous edition of Miss Universe in El Salvador this past November, their acquisition had already been completed. In recent history, it seems like Raul Rocha was really involved not only of his interest in the Miss Universe organization, but he also became one of the franchise owners for Miss Universe Mexico, and he was also very involved in the entire Miss Universe skincare project, which is also being done in collaboration with Olivia Kido. Now, of course, a lot of people might be wondering, what does this mean? Is now Raul the official owner of Miss Universe? And the answer is no, at least not completely, because Miss Universe has only sold 50% of its ownership, meaning that going forward, Miss Universe will be a joint effort between JKN Global Group and Legacy Holding Groups. Now, this has a few meanings. Basically, the first thing is that JKN is no longer the owner of the entire thing, as in before the previous edition of Miss Universe, at least from what we knew from the outside, she was the one calling the shots. She's the one who has the money, putting in the investment, so therefore whatever happens with the pageant is pretty much her responsibility. Now, at this point, I think that the number of 50% is very important to keep, because it means that Anne no longer has exclusivity. This is not like a 49% to 51% type of deal. 50-50 means that both parties need to agree and be on the same page in order to take and implement change in the organization or make major decisions. And I think this is something that perhaps could be good if both parties are on the same page. Otherwise, we might be witnessing some conflicts within the organization. I also think that it's a clever thing because, of course, now it kind of balances the Miss Universe organization between the two major markets that it used to have, which are, of course, the Asian market and the Latino market. We all know that Miss Universe is not really huge in North America, nor in Europe or Africa. So I think that having people in power in areas that the organization is really, really influential, I think that it's a clever thing. The partnership with the Mexican conglomerate seeks to build the Miss Universe brand profile and allow new products and marketing opportunities in the global market. They will also expand to consumer products like cosmetics, skincare, spas, perfume, swimsuit, and beverage lines. So, I mean, although, yes, JKN is giving away 50% of its ownership in Miss Universe, it seems like they still have the same vision of going forward with this, marketable profile that they were coming up. We already know that Anne had the entire water and beverage line developed. We already heard about the skincare products that were being released during the actual Miss Universe edition in El Salvador. We got to witness the Miss Universe swimsuit that was also being produced, and it seems like they have upcoming projects such as cosmetics and perfume. I already heard of the spa. There will be actually even one here in Manila at Okada, Manila. So this is not new, but it seems like they will be working hand in hand to make it happen. Now, from when I look at all of this, my first impression, honestly, is that they have already been collaborating behind our backs. We didn't even know, but it seems to me that these are all joint business ventures. So far, no surprise when it comes to the entire thing. Now let's talk a little bit about the money, the finances behind this historic deal. So it has been confirmed that the businessman Raul Rocha buys Miss Universe shares for 16 million USD dollars. Now, you guys will remember that earlier last year when it was announced that JKN had acquired the rights for Miss Universe. I mean, not the rights, just quite literally owns Miss Universe, and had to pay 20 million USD dollars for the entire organization. Now, only 1 year after the purchase, Anne has sold 50% of the organization for 16 millions. This to me means that Anne is selling at a profit because, of course, half of it will be 10 millions. She's selling for 16 million. So in my book, it looks like she is actually making 6 million out of this deal alone, which is already a huge return of investment in that initial 20 million that Anne invested. And this is only in 1 year. So I think that at the end of the day, from a business perspective, this is a good thing at least for JKN. Now, from the Mexican side of things, from Raul's Rocha side, I think that this is also perhaps a profitable purchase because if you guys remember, well, if you guys are even into that, some of the data that came out of the last edition at Miss Universe in El Salvador, it was actually an extremely successful edition. It had the highest viewership of all time. It reached the highest ranking and amount of audience on the Telemundo channel. So already we see a lot of Latino interest, at least in Latin America, when it comes to Miss Universe. It kind of made everything more relevant. And we also have to give props to the government of El Salvador because they really put everything behind Miss Universe. When we were there in El Salvador, it almost felt like the country was branded Miss Universe because if you go to the airport, there's Miss Universe banners. If you're on the streets, there's Miss Universe banners. If you go to the stadiums, everything is Miss Universe everywhere. So I think that this edition was really decisive to kind of pinpoint where the organization is going to be heading and show the world the potential that an organization such as Miss Universe has in terms of visibility and also the finances, the commercial aspect that they can bring to the table with all of their delegates. So going back to the numbers, purchasing half of the organization for $16 million, it means that the valuation went from $20 million for 100% in 2022 to $32 million in 2023, 2024, whatever you want to call it. So that's already a huge increase in only 1 year. The article also mentions that the organization has announced that Olivia Kido will assume the position of Vice President of Global Partnerships, focusing on the implementation of expansion of mission-driven work and corporate social responsibility around the world. I honestly think this is great news because Miss Olivia has a great reputation. And as you guys can see, she also confirmed it herself on her Instagram and social medias. From what I've heard, Olivia is really nice to work with. She is kind. She is very, polite to everyone. And she is there. She's a businesswoman at the end of the day. So she is there to close the deals. Now, I'm not quite sure what it means, the entire title. What is it like? Is she the one in charge of like branching out franchises? Is she the one in like coming up with other partnerships with like, I don't know, television channels or like sponsors for the pageant? Is it all of the above? It's still a little bit unclear. At the same time, she is still the president, the head of the entire branch of the Miss Universe skincare part of things, which I think that once again, I hope that there will be better marketing in terms of like targeting it to an audience. But I trust Olivia. I think she will do a great job because this is what she does. This is her bread and butter. Olivia is a skincare girly. So I think that if anyone can do it, it's definitely her. Now, for the people who were actually complaining and saying this is the end of it for the Philippines at Miss Universe because now it's Thai and Mexican owned, and now they were saying, the Latinas are going to dominate and Thailand is going to be in the top 10 every single year. I actually think that they have to be very strategic about business. Of course, when they're investing so much money, they cannot alienate a huge part of their audience. And it is no secret that the Philippines is one of the biggest markets for Miss Universe. I think that this is maybe where Olivia's voice is important to kind of balance things out because although she is not one of the stakeholders, one of the owners of the organization, she is still a very prominent figure within the organization. And as you can see here, I don't know if it's maybe too small, but in the comment section, everyone is congratulating her. People from Philippines pageantry, such as Sir Voltaire, Josh Hugen, everyone seems to be happy that Olivia is there. I think that Olivia will bring a good amount of balance for the organization. We all remember when suddenly Lupita Jones, who has been in charge of the Miss Universe Mexico, lost the license to the Miss Universe franchise. Suddenly, there was no previous notice. Her candidate was actually competed at Miss Universe when this was announced. And she was very vocal about her disappointment and the fact that she was not given a chance to even bid for the license. Well, it all makes sense because if JKN was selling half of the organization to this Mexican businessman, and he also wanted the franchise for Miss Universe Mexico. Then it's kind of understandable. Although, really sad for Lupita. It was actually announced that the legacy holding part of things in Mexico will be taking care of everything that has to see with the operations of North America and South America, while JKN, which is based in Thailand, will oversee the operations in Asia and other continents. Now, when you think about it, that means that JKN will be in charge of Asia, Europe, Africa. Meanwhile, the Mexican counterpart will only oversee North America and Latin America. So does that mean that Anne is still calling the shots because she is overseeing a wider group, or they're simply allowing the Mexican counterpart take care of their target market, which is Latin America, basically just the Americas? That's the only thing that they're doing. Another important detail is that the Miss Universe organization headquarters in New York will be operated by JKN, and they will be preserved because for a while there was this presumption that they didn't even have the apartment anymore. Shanice didn't seem to be living in New York in the apartment that the Miss Universe normally does. So it has just been confirmed that yes, the headquarters of Miss Universe organization will still remain in the U.S., which is a good thing, great news, and that Cheney's will actually stay in New York for the most part of her reign, except of course when she is traveling for her Miss Universe obligations. So let me know in the comment section how do you feel about all of the changes, and I'll be reading you down below. Drop a like, subscribe, follow, share this video, do all of the things that support the channel, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye now.